Well, let's get some analysis from Hashim Wahdatyar. He's an international relations analyst based in Washington, D.C. Thank you for coming onto the program. Now, Zalmay Khalilzad heading to Doha again. What are your thoughts on how effective these talks will be when the Taliban, at this point, really appears to have the upper hand here, taking more provincial capitals in less than a week?
Good question. Thank you. Well, I know that Qatar hosts two important meetings on Afghanistan peace this week with the participation of the United States, United Nations, Russia, and China. However, to make these meetings successful, there are two approaches are necessary that Zalmay Khalilzad and the others should take. Number one, that there should be double peace talks. Double peace talks means that peace talks among Afghans, the Afghan government, and the Taliban, and the political leaders. Peace talks, number two, should be among the regional governments, plus the United States and European Union, that they should support. The second point is that these meetings will only prevail when both sides, the Taliban and the Afghan government, participate at the leadership level. Otherwise, I think that this peace talks will continue, but will not bring something tangible in the short run. Apart from them, within the regional, like the double peace talks among the countries of the region, I do not think that these diplomatic process will bring sustainable peace to Afghanistan in the short term, unless there is peace talks between these countries at the intelligence level, like the CIA, ISI, KGB, and the others, because the war in Afghanistan is more from the perspective of intelligence rather than to be a conflict of diplomatic problem. That's other point. Something that very interesting thing is that Taliban has strategically lost the momentum. As soon as President Biden announced withdrawal, Taliban should have at least continued reduction in violence, if not ceasefire. Taliban should expedited peace talks and would have acquired greater share of power if they had continued reduction in violence and expedited peace talks. But now that the world understands that, the Taliban does not have a will for the peace talks, and it is understandable that the world realize that there is no military solution to the Afghan conflict. It is equally important to the Taliban should also realize that there is no military solution, but they insist on military solution in Afghanistan. In this point, and for the Taliban strategically lost the momentum.
Hashim, a lot of factors playing into what's going on at the moment, and I want to focus a little on the regional politics. You mentioned there regional governments and talks, but very interestingly, there's been this hashtag on Twitter called Sanction Pakistan. It alleges Pakistan is supporting the Taliban, many people then calling for the country to be sanctioned. What truth is there to this, and has there been any response from Pakistan and the US governments?
Sanctions on Pakistan, this is a trend began today, and it has gone more than 100,000 across, not only across Afghanistan, but across the world. And this is a trend began by people, not by the governments, not by the militaries, not by the other institutions. It is by people. So if even the Pakistan prevail, that they will not prevail through their groups, Taliban in Afghanistan, who will they govern on? So when the people do not stand with the Taliban, they cannot govern the graveyards. There's a need for any governance to win the hearts and minds of the people, the Afghans. When the Afghans like massively stand and call like sanction on Pakistan, that means that it's very clear, like in a blue sky there's a sun, that Pakistan is behind all these scenarios in Afghanistan, which has killed not only Afghans for the past 40 years, but it has also killed 2,400 Americans, NATO forces, ISAF forces in Afghanistan. It fully felt the mission of international community, the United Nations Security Council, and the world in fighting against terrorism in Afghanistan. It's not only about the dead bodies that we are talking about, its numbers, but it's also about the treasuries. Trillions of dollars have spent in Afghanistan in fighting terrorism, but that has been dismantled by the establishment in Pakistan. So this is a trend that started by Afghans and that has been widely expanding within the region in Europe and also in the United States. And the positive news is that there were reactions as well about these hashtag of sanctions on Pakistan. That today, Pentagon announced that the United States is engaged with Pakistan about the safe havens in Pakistan, that's no longer tolerable, neither to the United States nor to the world. So it's obvious that the Afghans might not be able to fight with the hundreds and thousands of army that Pakistan is encroaching on Afghanistan, but the people stand against that and they are raising their voice.
Hashim Wahdatyar live to us there from the US Capitol. Appreciate your analysis. Thank you.